On to our favorite weekly feature by Elijah Mwangi, and that is Victims to Victors. On this occasion, we focus on Honorable Isaac Mwaura, a nominated MP in the Code Alliance of the ODM party. He talks to us about the stress, stigma, and public ridicule he suffered before rising up against his status as an albino.
Merely on account of their skin color that makes them easily differentiated, persons with albinism have been shunned, tortured, and sometimes killed in cold blood. Going by media reports, the trend, manner, and reasons behind their sad state of affairs in those countries, persons with albinism in Kenya, Rwanda, Lesotho, or any other African state have every reason to be worried. Honorable Mwaura is a living proof that albinism doesn't affect the intellect of a person, as most people have been made to believe. At 30 years old, he has just been nominated and gazetted as a member of the National Assembly.
And I think we also need to see more people. People with albinism want to see more people who look like themselves in positions of leadership, not just because they have albinism, but people must recognize that people with albinism themselves, they also have talents and they have something to contribute. As a country, we need to really deal with issues of tribalism because it's a form of racism, it's a form of discrimination.
Mwaura was the advisor to the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga on issues regarding special interest groups. At this time, he also held positions of influence across the world as advisor and coordinator in matters involving youth and gender.
Those who are charged with the execution of the very plans that we contemplate, of the resources that we bestow upon them to utilize on behalf of Kenyans, must also have that national commitment of ensuring that they turn those resources into opportunities for equity, for equality, for job creation for young people, and wealth creation in the long run.
There are a number of myths surrounding albinism. For instance, some people think that acquiring some body parts of those with albinism brings good luck and instant riches, a misconception that Mwaura demystifies.
Therefore, people tend to imagine that if you use the body parts of people with albinism, the way whiteness is associated with rich, being rich, then you become rich. If they themselves are supposed to make other people rich, why are they not rich themselves? Most of them are poor. They cannot get work. They cannot do nothing. They would just as well scrap off part of their body and become rich. So it's total hogwash.
Mwaura is now in the books of history as the first member of parliament with albinism in Kenya, and to him this is just but a beginning.
I have been able, for example, to push for allocation of resources for persons with albinism for the provision of sunscreen. Just the other day, I was able to push through the budget committee for an allocation of 50 million shillings to create an albinism center. I will follow through to make sure that happens because I want that to be my legacy.
The Albinism Society of Kenya, in which Isaac Mwaura leads as the national coordinator, has its motto as "Don't just stare, ask." Tired of the daily stares that meet its members, the society's motto is calling on all Kenyans who needs to know about anything to do with albinism to ask instead of looking at those living with albinism as strange fellas from another planet. Elijah Mwangi for the Wholesome Channel.